Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Got a lot of news to talk about in this video. First up, it looks like Valve is working on something to replace Steam Spy. GPU demand continues to go down, and there are reports that graphics card prices will decline 20% in July, and Nvidia might postpone next-gen launch. And I also want to bring your guys' attention to a brand new Japanese RPG that is releasing next month. The release date just got confirmed. It's listed on Steam now, and it's a part of a franchise that's been making quite a wave on PC. So more on that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about Valve's Steam Spy replacement. Now, if you guys don't know, Steam Spy was a service that kind of gave us metrics on a bunch of Steam games, gave us an idea of how many people were playing a game, how many people have ever played a game, how many people own a game. It was a nice little way to understand how good games were doing commercially, understand how active games were, and how many people were playing them. Jan Peter Eworth, the head of business development at Valve, was asked about Steam Spy, and he responded that developers needed, quote, something better than Steam Spy. He continued by saying, quote, "We are very much working on new tools and new ways of getting data out of Steam, and we hope that data can be accurate and more useful than what Steam Spy previously offered you." So that's pretty cool news to me. I know Steam Spy isn't something everybody uses, but for me, I found it a really nice tool to understand how games were performing, and it really gave me an idea in seeing what things really resonated with gamers. For example, I'd love to use Steam Spy to look at more niche titles and see how that they are performing commercially. A game like Valkyria Chronicles, not a lot of people expected that game to sell all too well, but by Steam Spy's numbers, that game did very, very well, and Sega ended up coming out and saying, yes, that game did sell very well. So for reasons like that, I thought Steam Spy was a very useful tool, and I think for developers even more so, just for them to see what games are resonating with gamers, and they are saying that it's more useful and more accurate, so that's kind of cool. It is Valve though, so who knows if this will ever launch. Moving on, we've been talking a lot about GPU prices for the last year, and according to DigiTimes, citing sources from the upstream supply chain, they're reporting an expected decrease in graphics card pricing for July. This move is for a way for suppliers to reduce the inventory previously piled in expectation of continued demand from cryptocurrency and all that stuff, but we know that that has dissipated a little bit. In the past, crypto miners as well as gamers were looking to get their hands on GPUs, but now crypto has died down a little bit, and it's more the general gaming public that are looking to buy GPUs. Well, according to this report, a 20% drop is to be seen in July, and that includes drops on major GPUs, but at the same time, DigiTimes also added that Nvidia has decided to postpone launch of their next generation products until supply returns to safe levels. Now, that is really disappointing. We've had our 1070s, 1080s, and 1060s for so long now. We are past due a new GPU. I know that Nvidia isn't pressured into releasing a new GPU, so from a business sense, I understand why they are withholding the release of new graphics cards, because the demand of other GPUs are at a level where they don't really need to release those other GPUs. But for somebody like me that is always striving for better performance, and at this point, as someone that's gaming at 4K, a 1080 does have its limitations. I know there are better stuff than a 1080, but you get the idea. I wanted to get to the point where $300 GPUs are gaming at 4K at decent frame rates, and obviously we're not going to get there if we stay with current hardware, especially current hardware at current prices. But at the same token, I'm sure the majority of you are elated to hear that GPU prices might drop 20% in July. That's pretty significant. That would mean a 1070 would go down to around $320 if you value it at $400. That's usually the retail price, and a $320 1070 sounds mighty good right now. Now, $320 was around the price the 1070 was 16 months ago, so finally good to see us getting back to that point. I don't believe a 1070 was quite $320. I think it was around the $330 range. Honestly, it's been so long and my memory's a little bit foggy. But in the current climate of GPU hardware, if we can get a $320 1070, I guarantee you that will be flying off the shelves. And I'm pretty sure everyone's come to realize that these GPUs are pretty easy to find in stock now. The issue is the pricing, but actually finding GPUs in stock, that's not rather difficult. So while I'm disappointed at the notion of new GPUs being delayed, at the same time, I think we can collectively rejoice in the idea of GPU prices dropping. However, if you think about it, if new GPUs are just released, old GPU prices usually drop anyway, but at this point, I'm taking anything that I can get, and a 20% drop in prices is very significant, because I know a lot of people that have been withholding from buying a brand new PC or building their own PC just because GPU prices are so high. A 20% drop would be significant enough where I think people would jump in, and that would push people over the edge. And moving on from that, I do want to mention a brand new JRPG that is coming to PC next month, and that is Ys Memories of Celceta Bayonetta. Now, I know that everyone is not a big fan of Ys, but I gotta shout out my weeb brothers out there. I'm a big fan of the Ys franchise, even though Ys 8 was absolutely atrocious. The other Ys games have been very good on PC. Ys 7 was very good, and all of the other ones, given the fact that these games are not technical juggernauts by any means, they should be running very well on any PC. And if you look at the system requirements for this Ys title, it's very low, and it will be releasing on July 25th. So if you're a fan of JRPGs, this is one to be on the lookout for. Add it to your wish list. I would imagine that it's going to be released around $39.99. That was the price on the PlayStation Vita, so that's what I would assume here. And that is going to conclude this video, guys. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Valve is making a brand new Steam Spy replacement. Let's see if it'll actually come to fruition and at some point be released. GPU prices look to be dropping by 20% in July if a report from DigiTimes comes to fruition, and Ys Memories of Salcedo will be released on PC July 25th. Check that out. I actually played this game on the Vita. Didn't complete it, but I did sink around 8 hours into it, and I had fun for what it was. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments as well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.